Get on our Instagram for the giveaway. Welcome back to the Insiders. We're back again, myself and Daz. There is a few bits we want to talk about. I'm not going to muck about. I know that Darren has been absolutely scoring, and I want to hear about it. I've been getting a few waves, and we've also got a super exciting giveaway. Two giveaways.
Oh,
So first and foremost, how are you, Darren?
yeah, I'm pretty good. I feel like a dinosaur, Matthew, like a dinosaur who's smoked big slab of opium.
I mean,
Not that I'd know what that felt like.
you can imagine, but I mean, you wouldn't know how a dinosaur felt like, or a slab of opium. But
Just pretty tired, put it that way.
there's a reason, though, right? You've been lighting it up a little bit.
We had no, it's just also it was just like one of those, when the stars align and everything happens, like work was busy, then a friend of mine had a 50th on Saturday night, wasn't it? Yeah. And we just had like a good flat run for 3 weeks, and then we got a good swell forecast, which not everyone apparently was that convinced on, but I was pretty keen on it. So I was up on Sunday morning pretty early and had a really good session at Lenore, and yeah, I got a few. It's never as easy as what it looks. Photos kind of can
Yeah, it's not easy.
it's just not easy.
Anyone who like France. I love. Oh God, I absolutely like it. I love it more than anywhere else on the earth. But one, it's the most humbling place, and two, it's one of the places where you can be there and you can see someone's Instagram photo and it look all time, and you can be standing there like, how and where has that happened? It's not, it changes so quick. But from what I've seen, you scored. It looked pretty sick. The Lord of Lenore is your new name,
Hey, I
and
tell you, yesterday I went and I checked because yesterday was the better day, and I go there. So this is so France. So I go check, uh, and it's a bit small, Lenore, which usually means Nias is on, and I had this call because one of my workmates is a really good photographer, Simon Fitz. Follow him on Instagram if you can, SMN_Fitz, FTZ, I think it is. So anyway, he's like, who knows, firing. So I go there and I had a look and it was all rippy and there was like 30 guys. It didn't really look that good. And then I looked north and then someone else was calling me and then I went back and I checked. So then I went back like in front of my work at Stanio and then like I look out and it's like looks like Jeffrey's Bay or
wow.
even that O'Neill video. I seen like 3 waves. So I get changed. Then I ran down the beach and it's like, well, where are those waves I just saw? And like, it's only a small co-F. Like the tide was coming in, but it shouldn't have stopped that quick. But the swell was kind of dropping. And then I was out there paddling around. And I was just going, this is just fucked. It's just like, how
Mm.
can you not like? How can you be so close to scoring perfection and still not? And I ended up getting a couple towards the end, but that was like another 2.5 hour session. And it wasn't really as good as what it could have been. And kind of at the end was fun, but it was nothing like what I saw.
No, yeah, one of those. But we'll get some photos up because you definitely scored. I've had waves, but mine have been almost like the complete opposite of yours. I've been having really fun sunset, kind of warm surfs on. I've been surfing a short 5-7 hour fish and doing like surfing with a couple of mates on longboards and doing board switches and just having fun.
What sort of when you say warm, what sort of rubber are you packing?
3-2.
Unreal. The water's got warm that really quick then, didn't it? Unreal.
Yeah, 3-2, no boots, no gloves, no hood, nothing
How
else.
much easier does that make life?
Oh, it's just like last night. It was 7:30 last night, and I got a text from my mate Ishkar, shout out Ishkar, and he was like, he sent me a photo. He was like, "Here's working." I won't name the spot. He was like, "Here's working. Let's go." And I was like, "What board are you taking?" He was like, "I'm taking my log," and I don't have a log or anything big, but I've got this like fat fish that can catch anything. And I was like, "We're on." Literally just grabbed a 3-2 straight out the door. We're like parked up, changed real quick in, served till like quarter to 10.
How it's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? Because then you get home, you have dinner. By the time you've had dinner and wound down, you're minimum looking at 11:30.
Oh mate, I was as well because I was meant to do my food shop last night, and so
Everything just gets put
I got
aside, doesn't it?
yeah, I got home at 10, then had to go and do a food shop between 10 and 11, and then got home and had to like quickly walk the dog just before bed, and was like, wow, it's 11:30 and I've just sat down, but it was all worth it. It was so good. So, but
Yeah, I've got a quick topic that I just let's just spend a couple of minutes on because I just saw a little flash up come up on the side of my screen. It was from Discus. This other friend of mine sometimes call me. I do a little bit, but not that much. A little bit of commentating on articles and stuff. And I couldn't even read this one. It kind of shit me. It was in Star, but I read a little bit of it. It was like this is going to kill off another two of surfing
ah,
superstars. Talking about like moving the finals. We'll get to this because I think it's breaking news. Finals day being announced for next year at Cloudbreak,
yeah,
right? And I just off the cuff, without like thinking too much about it, and even reading the article, just said like, who cares about killing off a couple of superstars? They're not bigger than the sport. Now, in the meantime, I've had a couple of guys coming back. "Oh, what are you talking about? There's nothing more important than our superstars." Yeah, 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 yeah. And I just, like they can say whatever they want to me, and never in my world am I going to believe them. I just don't think it's true. Like, even if tomorrow Gabriel Medina, John Florence, and Kelly all stop, it's not going to kill the sport one bit.
no, and if
It'll
anything,
be a pity. I'm not saying it's going to be, but they'll be
yeah, but
replaced. They'll be replaced, man.
also, I agree. Also, it's like you look at like Steph's dropped off tour. She's about to go and free surf J-Bay. Like, I'd rather watch that once a year than see her struggling at somewhere shitty. Like, and but she's gonna drop a Rip Curl search film with Tom Curran and Mason Ho in Indonesia, which is kind of meant to be secret information, but it's out there. And that's going to be better than any WSL. So if John and Gabby came off tour, not sure about Gabby, but you'd probably see more surfing of John's, better
Yeah,
surfing of
but these guys, they're talking about killing the tour. I'm not talking about killing
yeah,
surfing,
but
but I
no, of
even
course.
think that tour
Uh,
surfing, like you can't tell me moving the finals day to Cloud Break isn't a step up from Trestles.
Of course it is. Also, I agree with you about it not killing the
And
tour
even still, it's just variety.
because that goes on to like one of the things I wanted to talk about, which was the Nias event, right? John wasn't in that, Gabby wasn't in that, no one was in it. It's a Challenger Series event. I watched more of that event than any event since Pipe, and it was better than any event since Pipe. It was
And what about Snapper then?
unbelievable. Yeah, and
Snapper was
yeah,
nearly as good
100%.
to watch as El Salvador or not?
I think
I
so.
reckon.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Snapper has probably been the best event, the best challengers or championship
El
series.
Salvador was still pretty good to watch, but
Really good.
like,
Of course it was. But and I think this year the WSL have done really, really well. I think the calls have been good and the waves have been better. So this year's going a lot better than last year. But I still think
Is viewing down because Toledo's left?
no,
Is viewing down because Carissa and Steph aren't there?
don't think so.
Is female surfing
Well,
hurting
yeah, I was
because
about
Steph
yeah,
and Carissa have left?
exactly. I was about
Not
to
at all.
say,
They're replaced, mate.
how many times this year have you
Unfortunately,
heard?
but it's just life, isn't it?
Yeah, how many times this year have you heard someone say that was the best heat ever? I
Mm.
think I've heard that 3 or 4 times, and probably 3 times towards it aimed at females, and none of them had Steph or Carissa in.
No,
So
this one guy's comment to me was, "Oh, did you watch any of the first heats of the women at Chopu?" Like, what's that got to do with anything? If it's two men arguing with each other about whether they watch the opening rounds of the women in smaller heats. No one watched the no men watch the women in heats for 20 years because they only got shitty waves. If they had been running the women's heats at Jaws or Pipe or whatever, they would have had a few more viewers. And
yeah,
who cares about like what we're watching? Like, isn't it more important what the girls are watching?
well, I think it's just
To the girls, I'm talking about.
potentially, yeah. I mean, I think it's just all round is like that guy's comments got no context in it because they ran the women's in shitty waves in chopes in round one, but they also ran the men's wasn't great. And in the day that they ran the whole women's, that was one of the best days out there. They gave them the better waves and stuff. So, um, it's a lot more well-rounded. So that's just kind of a bit narrow-minded. But
So Ronaldo retires. Who else is big? Harlan, he's pretty good. Harlan retires. Um, Phil Foden retires. All of them just say, "Look, I'm not playing soccer next year." Are people going to keep watching soccer,
of course, it
football?
happens. It happens every year. Like exactly that. Like Zidane retires. Oh, how are France going to replace him? Okay, like Benzema, Griezmann come on the scene. They win the Euros, and sorry, they win the World Cup, and then like Benzema's not in the team anymore. What are we going to do? Oh, you've got Mbappe. Like same with England. Oh, how are we going to replace Rooney? And then we've got Jude Bellingham, who's just unbelievable, and like there's always someone coming up behind you, like 100%. It's the same as like, oh, we're gonna miss Mick Fanning, we're gonna miss Joel Parkinson. Okay, yeah, cool. Jack Robinson, Ethan Ewing, step up. Like, kind of,
And in most companies, let's talk to our listeners. Like in most companies, like you've got a job and you might be really good at it. You think, "Geez, I'm good. I'm so important." Oh yeah, they can't do without me. You leave 99 times out of 100, they still just keep cruising along,
yeah, they're fine.
just to shove your ego back in your face. It's just a case of you,
But
you,
also,
you know, no
to,
one's irreplaceable.
but also to talk to our listeners, no one is irreplaceable. But also, your job is replaceable as well. So
Yeah.
if you're sat there and you're not enjoying your job, you don't get the freedom you want. You're like thinking, "Oh, this isn't me, but I've got to do it." There's jobs out there. Take a little bit of a risk, and you will get a reward for it. So, but hey, talking about rewards, because I want to do this in the middle of the app, not towards the end. Our kind friends at DB Journey, Wes, who is an absolute icon, Jonathan Weaver, who is an icon, and the whole company have kindly supported us and are going to let us give away some world-class product.
I'm going to just step in there and say they sent me a backpack. And like, honestly, if you get given something, you're always going to say someone's good. But I got this backpack and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, is this the best backpack I've ever had in my hand? I think it is. And I've had a lot of backpacks. I think a backpack, I told you, a backpack is a surfer or traveler's best friend because you
Yeah,
can get as many of those little funky wheelie things ever, but you can't run across a train station with your funky really wheelie thing where you got your backpack on, you're just hoofing it, especially if you're 5 minutes late.
which you usually are. And
Wow.
to back that point up, I have when I was working at Board Shop, I kindly got given a backpack from DB. And again, I was stoked on it. Like I was like, yes, this is now 5 years ago, and it's still my daily backpack. Like I
Okay,
use
there
it.
you go.
I
I was gonna say in the middle of that, like, good, sorry, man, I struggle
no, no, go.
to not interrupt. They're expensive, aren't they?
They yes, like there's no getting away from the point, like the fact that they are an expensive product. But when when I look at it now and I think to myself, I've had this 5 years, I've used it daily for work. I've taken it to France when I came down to you for 2 months. It was absolutely packed. I've taken it to Portugal. I've taken it to Costa Rica. Taken it everywhere around the world that if I've traveled, I've had it with me. Plus, I use it every day. And when I break that down over 5 years and the cost of it, I'm like, okay, well, it's
Has your zip oxidized? Is it blue or green?
nah, nah.
That's
And
the main problem,
and
isn't it?
I've got
If you put wetties and stuff in a lot.
yeah, and it's got a roll top. So roll the one I'm talking about, it's got a roll top that you clip, and the clip's still sweet. And they come with lifetime warranties. Like this is I know a bit about them because I used to sell them, but like, so I'm not trying to sell them now, but they do come with lifetime warranties and they're a cracking company. So, what our kind guy Wes has said is that we can give away the Essential Surf roll top bag, which is what I use daily. It's an amazing bag. And also, we're giving away a single shortboard board bag, which again, they're incredible. They look super
They're pretty
smart.
tough looking. I tell you,
Yep.
I seen them at Bell Surf Shop. I was in Bell all winter. Now they've got product there. If you want to have a look at them, and you're in Hossegor, go in there and look because, I mean, I'm looking at these things and going like, I want one. I don't have the coin at the moment, and then if I did, I probably would buy one because I'm telling you, the backpack, wherever you're going, I just love a backpack.
Well, yeah, this is a kind of the biggest testament of faith that I had is when I came down to France, I had my beloved Morning of the Earth, my beloved 6.5 album, and a brand new Flipsy.
So you had three boards in one bag.
Three boards in the triple board bag, packed them up, barely any like padding. I didn't pipe lag or anything. I just put I put a towel around them and some wetty, like two wetties, so nothing. Shipped them to France and shipped them back from France. Not a single mark on them. Like the board bags are solid as well.
So how are we going to give one of these away, Matt?
So this is going to be done via our Instagram. So
You can
a
follow
few,
us on the Insiders
yeah. So
podcast. Is
you
there
have
an
to
underslash score there?
yeah the underscore insiders underscore podcast. That's how you find us. Um, we'll do details of the giveaway on Instagram, but you'll need to follow us, tag three mates, and probably share a story, something like that. Won't be too difficult, but you can win some high quality product.
And they're going to sponsor my mate, the photographer, with a bag. And I said, hey, can we use one of the photos for the post? And he said, yeah, no worries. And he's a
Sound.
photographer. And I seen him unpack his bag. And I said, oh, I just got a photographer's backpack and I don't
Yeah.
have any cameras. I'm going to have to find something like maybe I can put some eggs in it, like,
Yeah.
half carton
Or
of eggs and see if they get broken.
maybe, yeah. Do some tests. Put some of
Hey,
your put some of your
you look after those details so people understand, and then tell me your thoughts on JJ. No, look, see, that's how mind warped we are to the name Florence, Nathan Florence, HTs.
yeah, wow, cooking. Massive. I I watched all of their Mentawai's videos like kind of back to back, so they kind of merged.
Yeah, I
Um
wanted to say something about
I just think it's quite ridiculous that they just score all the time.
that. I
Um
think I'm wondering if some people are going to start, like me included, getting a little bit fucking eggy at them.
I think I could understand if they weren't as they're so down to earth. Like it's a bit
Oh, they
sick.
seem so.
Yeah. Which is really cool. And I still, what do you think about the tights?
Uh, I got hairy legs, so I don't really need tights. There's no way in the world I'm going to wear them. Simple as that.
Fair enough.
I might wear one of those long sleeve rashies with the hat thing. I like the idea of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to wear the tights. Well, I just think I saw the one wave post of Nathan, and it was his 30th birthday, and he just pulls into an 8 foot keg, and he's looking out the lip, and I was thinking, what in the world would you give to be that comfortable in that wave?
So like it's silly. He comes back, he's looking the wrong way, like when he comes out and he's fiddling around with his GoPro and stuff. And I'm like, that's he makes like that wave, which is consequential, look very inconsequential just with how relaxed he is. So
I don't know
um
about the thing is, he's going there to the resort. They're buffing him out for free. He's already coined up and loaded. Koa Rothman's going to Kandui Villas. He's already coined up and loaded, and they're probably giving him free accommodation. That's 3K a week, man, plus a
mhm.
couple of K to get there. That's a 5K journey. So you're going to be wanting to have a pretty good job and uh, enthusiastic that you're leaving girlfriend or wife and not having to buy your kid new shoes for school if you want to be pulling that trip out in the next few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That being said, talking about like Indo mentalities and type of scoring, because we said about Nias as well. Um, Conor Maguire and a couple of the other boys who ride boards, so Mark Lascelles, they went out to Indo and scored, and they get some sick waves. I'm sure there'll be some clips of it, but Conor Maguire gets a mental one.
Hey, send him a message. I asked our good mate Groot McDood.
Giroud.
I asked the Groot McDood if Connor would be interested, and he said, "Yeah, ask him." And I forgot to,
Okay, we'll
but
get him.
that'd be pretty sick to talk to. Is he Batman or Robin to Garud, or is he
Who's
Catwoman
Batman? Yeah, it's like
or the Joker?
yeah, Batman and Captain America. I don't know.
How are those guys? They're just absolute fiends.
They're fiends and they're proper cool with it as well. They're lords, which is really cool. Um, yeah, we'll try and get Connor on. That would be sick. But and then talking about DB Journey as well and Waves, they did so DB Journey released alongside Wasted Talent, they released a little clip with Craig Anderson and
Someone else.
Kaito Oharashi,
Ah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
the surfing in it is so good, and also like people should watch it because I'm not going to say where, but they go to a pretty like a location where you wouldn't guess that a surf film would be released, and the waves
Okay.
are thick. You haven't seen it, right? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I thought I saw it. Is he on a right, Craig Gander, and he's
Yes.
just slapping a whole bunch of backhand Rios?
Yeah, Craig
He's still
Anderson.
pretty stylish, isn't he?
Yeah, that was what I literally was about to say is I watched something where Craig Anderson, well, on it Ain't That Swell episode, Craig Anderson said he didn't go backside for like 6 years. And then in this, you see Craig Anderson on his backhand, which is really cool. And Kaito Harashi is so good at surfing and really, really stylish as well. And yeah, they get a bit off the beaten track and it looks so good where they are. And the production, like how Wasted Talent and DB put it together, is really cool as well. So anything with Cragen usually hits pretty good, and I'd recommend it.
I don't still think it or any of the Indo tapes have come close yet to O'Neill's. It's video of the year for me.
I would agree. Um, yeah, I would agree with that. It's pretty mental that that Maps to Nowhere episode. Um,
What are the crowds like up there in your surfing spots at the moment? From what I hear on the ground, and I'm on the ground, I'm telling you, in surf tourism, and not just surf tourism, tourism full stop, and spending, Europe is having a big struggle at the moment.
yeah. I would say yeah, it's not as crowded as I thought it would be, and there's not as many people surfing. I think there's a major, like obviously, like for me, it's kind of pretty obvious. There's a cricket World Cup going on as we speak. There's a football Euros going on, and Europe is heavily dominated by football. And there's an Olympics about to kick off, um, where surfing in it compared to everything else is minuscule. So I think the attention of the lesser committed surfer is elsewhere.
And there's a picture. I surfed like literally with three guys yesterday on
Mm,
one at one of the most crowded spots. And and this Spanish guy was having a chat to oh, he wasn't Spanish, he was from Argentina. And he was on a 4 month trip with his missus, and he was going, this is like surfing back home in my hometown where there's no one. I
yeah.
was like, fuck. It's like, welcome. And it was, I'm finding it really strange. I'm wondering, I've seen it in previous years, if June's a little bit of a doldrums month. It's spring, it's after the April, May sort of come out of winter fiesta, and people are waiting to hold back on their summer holiday.
I think maybe also, I don't know what it's been like down there, but in the
The
last
weather's
week,
been atrocious, and
yeah,
it
the weather's been
was.
hellish. Like in the last week, it's picked up a bit, but that's what we've had really bad weather, but no waves with it. So you're getting kicked in from both sides.
I paddled out in boardies the other day.
Yeah, solid.
Li- little 1 2 foot day, and honestly probably could with next week it'll be boardies if it's surfable, which is pretty cool to go from 4-3 2 weeks ago to boardies.
Yeah. Well, if anyone's thinking, like listening and even just contemplating it, get down to France in the summer. Go stay with Daz.
So
You
hey, send me a message on Instagram. I'll see what I can do for you. I've got beds. I
should be
won't
good.
turn this into a selling tool, but like it's just like at the moment you can have good waves without being inundated with bitterness.
Yeah, and there's not a million people about. You'll get waves, and you get coffee, you get pies, you get looked after as well.
Hey, Brazil's on Saturday.
Mm.
See how stoked you are. It's just the hardest comp to get stoked about, isn't it?
I enjoy Brazil.
Have you looked at the forecast?
No.
Neither
Uh,
have I.
I enjoy Brazil. I like the crowd, and I like that it's a different event. Like and it brings something different to it. But to be honest, like do you ever go through the stages, right? Like we love surfing. Like
Yeah, we're
there's not
burned
times.
out on the watching it. I said that the other day. I'm
But
banned.
do you ever go through where you just like actually surfing? Like I love all aspects of surfing, but then like lately I've just been so frothing on just surfing anything like because it's a bit warmer. But because of that, I feel like it makes me not watch as much because I'm like kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
surfing.
I'm on the full YouTube Seinfeld, bro. Sorry to call you bro again, mate. I'm watching Seinfeld
You can
five
call me
minute
bro.
clips. I just piss
Yeah,
myself on it.
I've been watching heaps of um clips from old Ashes cricket. Like I absolutely love that. But also, me and Christian Bradley send each other stupid Ali G videos all the time.
Ah, he sends me a couple. There was a good one. What was it? Fuck, that was funny. Yeah, I
Um,
can't remember which one it was.
well, there's loads, and the ones where he sends me like old Little Britain clips where you think to yourself, how was that even allowed on TV? But it was because people had sense of humor back then, I guess, as well. But
What was the one the other day he sent?
what the
And
one where he sat with a
there
guy.
there was a bunch of racists and the guys. Oh, what was the guy said that they were gonna build a mosque.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's standing there and he's like, we're gonna build a mosque. And he's like, um he says something like, um he said something along the lines of they're lucky that they let um him even talk or something and stuff like that. Like it's so bad, but it's hilarious at the same time.
France is going for a bit of a nut bar sort of period at the moment where this young guy who couldn't even finish his geography degree at uni, he's got a crack at being prime minister. So I just hope everyone can get out there and vote because it's quite ridiculous. This guy doesn't have a single clue on, like, imagine you're prime minister of a country. Like, we like to slag off politicians, and a lot of them are wankers and assholes. But imagine you were trying to manage the budget for how many million people are in Britain or UK?
60?
Yeah. Huh? Imagine how much fun that is. Manage, like, looking at the spreadsheet and saying, all right, I've got 2.4 billion. I've got, like, I wouldn't want to do it.
No,
And
no,
I
no,
and
no.
I hope the person who is going to do it, honestly, can add 2 plus 2, because otherwise we're going into the Great New Depression. I don't want to sound pessimistic, Matt, but
Yeah,
in Europe, for example, in France, they're pushing for a 28. We've got no 33-year-old prime minister, and this other guy who's extreme right, and just like, let's not even go there. And on the other side of the ocean, we've got an 80. How old is he, Joe
Joe
Biden?
Biden.
84,
Uh, Joe Biden, I think, is like 120,
120, and Donald Trump, who's 110,
and
a
been
convicted
convicted.
felon.
Yeah, and then in England we've got a guy who says he understands the poverty of the people, and actually his family and his wife's family are more wealthy than the royal family. And
It's
then
just a comedy.
we got another guy who's saying he knows the value of people struggling, and he's got a knighthood, and definitely hasn't struggled.
And what's crazy is there's a lot of people out there that have studied and are intelligent and could do a lot of good for us.
Yeah, it's all who you know, and there's a lot of brainwashing type like shit, but politics suck dick. So,
Did you
um,
ever watch House of Cards and I'll Let It Go on Netflix?
I don't think
Kevin
so.
Spacey before he got cancelled.
No, I didn't know.
Don't watch it if you don't want to get depressed about politicians. Viewers, just keep watching 5 minute Seinfeld episodes, I reckon, and I'll,
Yeah,
oh, oh, Crocodile Dundee. I watched about 20 Crocodile Dundee one videos the other night because he was just a trailblazer for Australians
yeah.
traveling the world. As
Well,
like anywhere you go, people just go Mick Dundee, and like you look at you like you're just some tough hell man.
yeah. Or get old episodes of Steve Irwin on, because you can't not have fun watching him. Love Steve Irwin. Used to watch that stuff all the time. But yeah, no, like I would say people need to go and watch the DB thing. Go check out Nathan Florence's Mentality videos because they're mental. And then yeah, we got 5 minutes, so let's do a quick Brazil um kind of prediction.
Also, thanks Gabe Davies and Patagonia. They sent me one of those impact vests.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. Come on, it was pretty good. I fell off twice in semi-precarious positions, and I got back to top pretty easy, and all my ribs and everything feel good. Uh,
Really.
I got a feeling it'll be Gabriel Gabrielle maybe win this one, but we've said that for the past 3, 4 comps. Can he do it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go either Medina or Samuel Pupo to win it. He's got the wild
Oh
card.
yeah, Sammy Pupo. I'm feeling that.
But I can tell you right now, my fantasy team, if you've got a Brazilian flag next to your name, you're automatically in. Like,
You're in.
yeah,
Now, I think it's a really hard event to pick for the women
mm,
with that
yeah,
weird backwashy sort of pretend. It's backwashy Sakurama left, isn't it?
yeah. Katie Simmers should do good. Her backhand is mental and she can boost in air.
Yeah,
So
she did.
I think
It
Kate,
looks like the first 4 days. Saturday's the first day. It's got poor to fair. So let's dunk that. Then it goes fair to good, 1.2 meters with 12. So let's say they go through a few rounds on Sunday. Monday looks fair, but it's only zero point 0.5 at 10 seconds. Who knows? And then here we go. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're looking at Wednesday, 1.2 meters, 10 seconds. Thursday, 1.5 to 2.4 meters at 13 seconds with not too bad a winds, same green. And then Friday, the same, 2 meters at 11. So
mm,
it looks like they got
end of
potential to
next week.
score 3 days of really good waves for what it is.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going Gabby Samuel Pupo, and then I'll go Katie Simmers as a favourite, and um I think who was it? I looked the other day. There was someone who I was like, oh, she could be good.
I'm going Ryan Callahan pull out his first win.
Oh, I like that. He definitely suits it.
I'm not betting my house on it though. Sorry, Arkel.
No, no, but
But I was just trying to think of someone who can, a goofy footer who can be
good in the air.
creative. Yeah, there you go. I
Yeah.
mean, he's got everything else, but has he got the metal to stop Medina, uh, Italo, Pupo? They're just coming at it. Yago Dora, who honestly you think he's going to win it, don't you? Hey, we
I'll
didn't
go.
talk about that because we were commentating on the heat. Yago Dora kind of like just smashed Gabby out of the park in that last comp, didn't
Yeah,
he? And
yeah,
we're talking about the guy everyone thought was the best server ever.
yeah. He left him for dead. But I think Gabby's going to get him back in Brazil. Um,
Mm,
Also, female wild card is Sophia Medina.
no chance.
No, no
She
chance.
won't even get. She won't even get higher than 4 points.
But I
It's
think
my prediction.
my women's wild card is Luana Silva.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
I
Speaks the
think,
local language, I guess. Even
yes,
though she grew up in Hawaii, Brazilian parents.
yeah. So, um, if it's held off, we'll get an episode out next week about it. But if not, then the implications.
Don't hold your breath on us like coming mid comp with gushing superlatives. I would consider consider. I would recommend to every surfer listening to us to not read, uh, watch, or do anything much about surfing apart from actually go surfing. If you're not even doing that, ice baths. I'm into just quickly. Let's keep it real. I'm doing morning nude hosing in the back garden on the wet grass. You get a lot of electrons coming up through the dew and the grass into your skin. I'll just leave it at that. Merci beaucoup.
We need to have some Instagram proof of that, Daz.
The neighbors can't see through my fence, and no one in my family is awake when I'm awake.
Well, that's a solid effort. But yeah, I would definitely say just a reminder to people, the more you surf, the more you should stretch because I woke up this morning feeling tweaked.
Tweaked like a dinosaur on opium.
Basically, yeah. So sweet everyone. We'll be
Thanks
back
for coming.
soon. Get on our Instagram for the giveaway.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.